This is a smart car, an ultra-compact car available in Canada from Mercedes-Benz. Although these guys have been available here since 2004, the big news is that in 2008 they're going to be available in the United States. That means I'm sure we're going to be seeing a lot more of them on the roads.
New for this year is a special limited run of 50 of the so-called Night Run edition. The luxury stylists at Brabus have put together a trim package that includes skirts and alloy wheels and, for the interior, leather, carbon trim, this fancy steering wheel and gear shift paddles, electric door mirrors, and the biggest cup holder I've ever seen in any car. All this drives the price up to around $26,000. The base model, which is very basic, starts at $16,500. But for the kind of people the Smart targets, urban loft dwellers, there should be at least 50 Canadian customers willing to pay the price.
I was actually shocked the first time I got in this car. Its proportions are just like a regular car. The door openings are huge, and the doors are really heavy. The design in here is really spare. It contributes to a feeling of lightness. I had a guy in here who was 6'4", and there was plenty of room for both of us. The gauges are very basic, a tack and a clock. There's no glove compartment to speak of, the airbags here, but there's this handy cabinet right here that is actually big enough to hold even my cell phone. And I gotta point this out, Brabus designed the biggest cup holder I have ever seen inside a car. Big enough even for this.
To be honest, I didn't think all that much of it at first. I live downtown, but I might be more inclined to get a slightly larger, more practical car. In the end, it won me over, especially, surprise, surprise, on the highway where I thought I'd be terrified of a close encounter with the 18-wheeler kind. I was wrong. On the highway, its 135 km/h electronically limited top speed is enough power for even the most aggressive of Toronto highways. Because you only take up half a lane, you never really have to worry about anybody else. It's also performed extremely well in crash tests, even with bigger vehicles, largely due to the specially designed cockpit that, in essence, is like being wrapped in the steel roll cage of a race car. It's also got front and side airbags, and it's plenty agile enough to take care of itself, although with its rear engine and so much weight in the back, it suffers from some understeer. And its extreme lightweight means you can't help but notice a crosswind. At the gas station, every fill-up feels like a little gift from the fuel efficiency gods. Its inline 3-cylinder turbo diesel offers 40 horsepower, 74 pounds-foot of torque, and consumes a scant 4.2 liters of diesel fuel per 100 kilometers. This car shines in the city as well. Cars parked in your lane, no problem. No parking? Don't worry about it. All of a sudden, the city is your oyster. And if you're the kind of person who likes to be noticed, try one of these on for size. You get stares, you get smiles, you get laughs, and these cars have a rabid fan base of fans known as Smarties, so from your smart car driving brethren, you get honks and waves. Since they've been on the market for a couple of years now, owners have started to find a few problems, but most are minor. The biggest complaint, and nobody's really sure why this is, are headlight bulbs that seem to burn out faster than they should. A minor quibble though for a car that's developed a real following.
I gotta say though, I'm not a fan of the automatic function of the manual automatic transmission. Transmission's supposed to do both, but in automatic it feels like I got a teenager changing gears for me. It's extremely lurchy.
And for such a tiny car, the steering is remarkably heavy.
It's tiny, so how practical is it? Well, it's actually surprisingly roomy inside. With 260 liters of cargo space, it'll fit 2 golf bags with a walking cart, 2 hockey bags, and I happen to know this, a dining room table, a console table, 4 dining room chairs, 4 wine racks, a CD holder, and 2 lamps, if they're flat packed. There's nothing out there that's like a smart car, and the trick with it really is just to stop expecting it to be like anything else you've ever driven and just accept it for what it is. If you do that, like me, you might just fall in love.